You're listening to the Night Demon Network. Go to nightdemon.net/subscriber to unlock more exclusive content.
Hello and welcome to the Night Demon Heavy Metal Podcast. I'm your host Nesbit. Killer. Why no love for Killer? It's only been played a handful of times in the last 10 years. The least played song from this album, one of the least played songs ever by the band before this current tour. The last time they played it is when I asked them to play it, and they played it in my hometown. That was in 2023. It's a great song. Fits the theme of the album. It has great solos. It's catchy. We need more love for this, the second last song on Curse of the Damned. This is Killer.
Killer is a pretty damn good song, I think. I don't know if it's one of the more liked ones within the band, but I have no problem with it personally. I think it's a good song.
Killer is a song. If I were to say any of these songs are more like of an album track, this is definitely one of those. Although it was around, for a while. It was part of the initial album, the Run for Your Life album, and made it on the final Curse of the Damned album.
Killer. One of the earliest songs that we wrote for Curse of the Damned. The vibe and feel of this song, to me, I hate to compare it to other songs that we love, but it's just so easy to do with the early Night Demon catalog. One of the things that was kind of always a compliment to us was when people would say they would hear us for the first time and they would say, "Oh man, this sounds like Maiden. Oh man, this sounds like Metallica. Oh man, this sounds like Thin Lizzy. Oh man," like within a same song. And that's, that was always kind of a compliment to us instead of like, these guys are a straight ripoff of this band. There was a lot of different influences in there. And this is a good example of that, this song. To me, it's a cross between Judas Priest's Tyrant and Metallica's Jump in the Fire. I think that's the best way to describe that. If those two songs had a baby, it would probably be this.
It's a song that we don't really play again. It's in this batch of these three, like Living Dangerous, this, and Run for Your Life, that rarely make it in a Night Demon set these days, or even for a while. I mean, probably since back when we were doing the Final Curse tour, when I first joined the band, was probably the last time we were regularly playing this song as well as those other ones.
Do I think the song is underrated? Well, I don't know. It's funny because when the album came out, I think, the label wanted this to be a single. And there have been some people, various radio DJs and journalists that, like, this was kind of their favorite song when the album came out. And I think, this one we've played even less than Run for Your Life. This and Living Dangerous are probably the least played songs. They definitely are from this album. But in the catalog, they're definitely in the top 10 least played songs.
Killer was cool because it had a lot of, that fast Ramones, Misfits hi-hat in the verse, and it's fast and kind of had to really just, keep it going and driving. There's some cool drum fills in there that Armand helped me with as well.
But again, another song in the key of A, the rock and roll key. Again, starts off with the cool riff, just kind of basic, a little more of a simpler kind of riff, not too much single note stuff, just power chords, playing a pattern. And just getting into it and rocking out. Yeah, I guess it's a bit underrated. I really like the verse. My favorite part of the song is the verse parts. The verse riff is cool. I always enjoy playing that. It's just a cool, like, chuggy kind of hammer-on part. Again, an A.
But the writing of the song, Brent had that main riff, and we just kind of started off that, This, again, very early on in the band. This song was written very quickly within the first year of the band. And, the midsection, I know I came up with that part.
Nowhere to run, nowhere to hide. Time is up, you're gonna ride. Nowhere to run, nowhere to hide. Time is up, you're gonna find. Time to die, don't ask why. You know you're a killer. Killing just for fun, yeah.
The demo here was recorded in January of 2012. Myself, Brent, and Pat. I really love Pat's drumming on this. It's very new album, and it's very, it kind of sounds like the first Angel Witch album. It's really cool. It's for a song that's supposed to be played kind of tight, this gives it that 70s kind of Priest vibe, right? It's got a looseness to it for sure. It's very caveman-y, thuddy, and thuddy, if that's a word, a thud.
Grab your hunting knife, it's time to take the lead. Tie her up,
It's definitely that lineup with Pat Bailey on drums and Brant, of course, on guitar. I could just tell by the way the drums sound, that's him, that's those sessions. He had this really cool old school drum kit. I forget what brand it was, but it had concert toms, which meant the drums, the toms had no bottom heads. So I remember micing them from underneath, which is like an old school thing, and doing the snare, kind of detuned, really fat sounding snare. Just a big whoopy kind of tubby drum sound, you know. It worked for the stuff at the time.
Killer! Killing everyone!
And then with Brant's guitar, you know, instead of doing 2 tracks and panning them left and right, it was one performance, and I did sort of like a psycho stereo kind of thing where you take the same signal, you split it onto another track, and you put a slight delay, like a 10 between 10 to 20 milliseconds is somewhere around there, and it kind of gives you a stereo spread for one performance. So it's a cool trick that you can do to get away with one guitar coming out of both speakers. Is a thing that, like, if you listen to early Van Halen records, the way they did it was they would keep the guitar on one side and then they had the reverb pan to the other side. So on some of those records, if you listen to one side of it, it's just the reverb from the guitar, so it's kind of trippy. But this is a little more full sounding. So anyway, that's how we did that.
This jam room demo was at Rockin' Rick's, myself, Brent, and John Criar. Yeah, I mean, you can tell we've tightened up the song a lot. So the purpose of a lot of these jam room demos is, you know, so John's playing drums for us in the band, and it's like we just kind of we're kind of gearing up towards actually doing a full-length record. So now that he's in the band, even with songs that we do have demoed and existing songs that we did with Pat, we want to be able to record these songs with John, just even in the jam room, just to kind of hear everything that's going on and make sure that we're all on the same page and get ready to do a record. So that's kind of the idea of just the instrumental jam room demo here is, so we were all playing the song right, and we have an updated demo of how we're going to do this.
Killer, lyrically, I guess, is about, I don't know if it's necessarily about the character Eugene, who is on the cover of the record, wielding the axe. I'm sure Jarvis will elaborate on that, but that's the vibe that I get from it. So, you know, or about just in general, serial killer kind of character that we've all read and heard of many stories about, especially from the LA area, you know, the Night Stalker. So that's cool. You know, we've all been fans of horror movies and all that whole genre and everything for a long time. So there's always going to be some sort of crossover in that subject in Night Demon songs.
So what is the meaning of this song, you ask? This song was written about Richard Ramirez, the Night Stalker. He was like a serial murderer that terrorized LA in the mid-'80s. And, you know, both Brent and I can remember, being kids during that time, very young kids, but really, I mean, the aftermath of that thing kind of spread, and that was a thing there that was, it was terrorizing LA, and people were just super afraid.
At first, Los Angeles police thought that the murder of a young woman last March was an isolated act of violence, but since then they've come to believe it was connected to a wide-ranging series of assaults by a killer who's become known as the Night Stalker.
Today, the search for California's Night Stalker continues.
They're apparently the latest victims of the Night Stalker, thought to be responsible now for 34 brutal attacks, 14 of them fatal.
Police are searching for a 6-foot-tall man dubbed the Night Stalker, who may have committed 13 murders and 12 grisly assaults in the San Gabriel and San Fernando Valley since February.
The authorities believe that one man is responsible for at least 14 recent attacks, including 7 murders. They say the same man might be responsible for as many as 30 such incidents.
Everybody knows you're a killer. Killing just for fun. Killer. Killing everyone. Killer.
But, kind of writing a song like this, at this time we're kind of following in the footsteps of our heroes. And, bands like that were writing, you'd have an album's worth of songs and there'd be a song about a movie and there'd be a song about, a serial killer or some ancient, world leader or just anything like that. Any kind of topics you can grab at that kind of expand your mind, something that inspires you at the moment, right? And so just thinking about the Night Stalker and, back then there was a lot of crossover with, things that, in the media that he had listened to heavy metal. And, he had a pentagram on his palm, and there's like famous images of that. And it was in the height of this satanic panic.
Crime is the Wacken killings. The suspect, Richard Ramirez. And the question is, did the band AC/DC drive him onto a personal highway to hell?
And people were really, well, it was pretty much actually at the beginning of the satanic panic. I think that he had a lot to do with spurring this kind of thinking that was going on in the religious culture of America. And, it was just such a extreme thing that happened here. And it was cool to write a song about it. So for those of you who are not familiar yet with the Richard Ramirez story, let me walk you through the lyrics of the song, and you could tell me later if I did a good job. Again, lyrics shouldn't be so literal all the time. There should be some metaphors. This song is pretty straightforward, though. So lyrics, first verse. Crawl into her window, she's fast asleep. Grab your hunting knife, it's time to take the leap. Tie her up, gag her mouth. No need to hide your face, everybody knows you're a killer.
Crawl into her window, she's fast asleep. Grab your hunting knife, it's time to take the leap. Tie her up, gag her mouth. No need to hide your face, everybody knows you're a killer.
Then the chorus just repeats killer, killing just for fun, killing everyone.
Killing just for fun. Killer. Killing everyone.
So it's kind of going through a description of how he's been killing his victims. But I like the end of the verse, no need to hide your face, everybody knows you're a killer. So with the serial killers of North America, before the big technology boom, before internet, before everybody had a camera, it was a lot harder to catch these guys, especially just random murderers that would murder random people that were not connected to them at all. New York went through this in the late 70s with David Berkowitz. And, so we were still kind of trying to navigate through this. Even like the Manson murders were, maybe 15 years before this happened. But, since then, there were these things would pop up in the U.S. with these just random serial killers that were so hard to track down. I mean, and you even had like the Zodiac killer before that in Northern California where, I don't think they ever found that. Who did that? There's people that say they know, but, nothing's ever been done about it. Second verse. Now the job is done. Wipe off your blade. Stop and take a look at the mess you've made. Wipe your face. Clean your boots. Look into the mirror. Recognize yourself as a killer.
Now the job is done. Wipe off your blade. Stop and take a look at the mess you've made. Wipe your face. Clean your boots. Look into the mirror. Recognize yourself as a killer.
So again, just kind of just the aftermath of the murders this guy's committing. Look into the mirror, recognize yourself as a killer. This guy Richard had serious mental problems, and he had been exposed to a lot of really shitty things as a child. And he had a very antisocial personality as an adult. But who knows what these people are thinking, right? When you are mentally unstable, I don't know. Are they killing for God? Are they hearing voices in their head? Are they rightfully just in their own minds, right? So look into the mirror, recognize yourself as what you are and what you've become is basically what it's saying there. Then we have another chorus. And when I say in the chorus, killing everyone, it's kind of like that's how the city felt when that was going on. Like there's no leads on this guy, and it's just happening and happening. You where are you safe? You don't really know because it's so the randomization of the killings. I mean, it really could be anybody and it could happen at any time, and police just had no answer for it. There was no feeling of safety. It was like people afraid to leave their windows open at night in the middle of the summer, So the bridge section here, nowhere to run, nowhere to hide. Time is up. You're going to fry.
Nowhere to run, nowhere to hide. Time is up. You're gonna fry.
Yeah. So at a certain point, there were some leads, and he was actually captured by citizens. They ran him down in broad daylight on a street in East LA and beat him up and captured him. So it was the citizens that actually, after they had like a sketch going around of who they thought it was the citizens that brought him to justice. It was like I'm not going to say a vigilante movement. It was a spur of the moment. Hey, that's the guy, right? And they did catch up to him. At the end of this, I say, time to die. Don't ask why. You know you're a killer.
Nowhere to run, nowhere to hide. Time is up, you're gonna fry. Time to die, don't ask why. You know you're a killer.
And the time is up, you're going to fry. I mean, like electric chair stuff, which didn't happen to him. He actually died in prison shortly after this song was written. I think, I don't know, that's just some cliche heavy metal. Yeah, that sounds cool, man. Time to fry. We were at that stage in our career. We I'm not going to say we weren't serious, but we weren't taking ourselves that seriously. So that's why you have a lyric like that. The gang vocals in the background, nowhere to run, nowhere to hide. It's just a cool kind of sing-along thing. We were always looking for that. We were very inspired by groups like the Misfits, and anytime we could have a gang vocal in a song, we do it, especially in the early days. And I think I'd like to do that some more, actually, because it's just so much fun, and it's fun for the audience.
Background vocals, gang vocals sort of thing. Yeah, just a cool part to sing along to. I enjoy playing that and doing that part live too. Getting to fucking, sing along Jarvis and a part. And the diehard fans that know that song love to sing that part too. So that works pretty well live.
Nowhere to run, nowhere to hide. Time is up, you're gonna fly. Nowhere to run, nowhere to hide. Time is up, you're gonna fly. Time to die, time is why. You know you're killing. Killing just for fun, yeah.
The guitar solo at the beginning, I think, I don't know if we ever perfected this, Brent had so many different versions of solos for this song, and they were all cool. So, I don't know if it was ever truly defined. There's so many different versions. And of course, we have to remember the Run for Your Life version of this song that had Scott Kempner from the Dictators and the Del Lords playing lead guitar on it. That just goes to show right there how little of an idea we had with the guitar solos on this song. It's a bit of a strange song. For us back then, fast songs were much easier to solo to because you could kind of just shred over them. And then to have a thought out solo on this where the parts underneath are not super melodic, it is actually challenging.
At that time, for the Run for Your Life sessions, that was my favorite song until Heavy Metal Heat kind of took it, and then we wrote Mastermind, and then that kind of became my favorite. But Killer's got all the elements, and it's just a fun song. And it was always a fun one to break out every now and then at sound check when we hadn't played it in a whole year, and I'm trying to remember how the heck it goes when we're doing it. And that was always a fun experiment.
Yeah, all right. So, again, solos, totally different. Of course, now that the Run for Your Life version is out there, talking about Scott Kempner from the Dictators doing a guest solo on there. That was also its own thing and different from what ended up being on the final record. And also on the Run for Your Life version, we've got little lead breaks in the verses, or the choruses, in between the main hook parts,
Everybody knows you're a killer. Killing just for fun. Killer. Killing everyone. Killer.
Those were kind of fun to do. And live, those are fun to do because I just kind of play a few different. I have sort of a structure to that, but it's kind of a place that I get to improvise a bit when we do that live.
I think it's a good song, especially with the guitar solos added, or not solos, but the little guitar fills added in the chorus that we do live.
Yeah, this song. Okay, let me explain to you finally now, kind of why this song is weird. It's a good album track. It's not a very good live track. It kind of just, there's not a lot of changes, and it kind of just goes along on this kind of mid-level pace. It's never felt right physically playing it live. So the fact that it doesn't feel right physically for us, I think that does translate to the audience in some weird kind of energetic way. I think it's hard for us to rock out on this song, and that kind of puts us in a weird zone. It's definitely tough to sing with the down picking pattern on the verses. It's challenging. And there's no real like explosion to the song, right? There's not a lot of dynamics at all.
This one is really touchy with the tempo, though. I feel if you play it just a little bit too fast, it kind of loses a lot of the feel, and it makes the verses kind of difficult to play. It's another one with the 16th notes on the hi-hats, AC/DC style, almost. Well, there's a little bit more accents on it, but it's kind of hard to accentuate all of them when it's a little too fast. So this one is a little touchy for that reason, but when it's the right tempo, it feels great, and I think it sounds great too. It's a really good song. Yeah, I'd like to do this one more. I'd only done it once, and it was by request of our host Nesbitt in Newfoundland a couple years ago. And that was when I learned it, and I still pretty much remembered it for these, when I had to brush it up for the Curse of the Damned anniversary shows.
So this live recording from St. John's, Newfoundland, 2023. We let Nesbitt pick the set list, and he put that song in there. And so we did have a false start here. I just forgot the lyrics. Very unprofessional of me. But we had a good time with the audience on that one. And we just started the song over again, and it worked out.
Sorry. How we doing out there, St. John's? Okay. All right. Sorry, we've really never played that song. That was a special request, and I forgot the words. But I think I could get it this time. Let's give it up for our buddy Nesbitt here. He requested this song. He put the pressure on us. For those who don't know, we have a podcast running 161 weeks in a row every Friday, broadcast right out of here out of St. John's, Newfoundland. And that is the host right there. So we got to, come on. What other California bands have a weekly podcast running out of St. John's, right? This is the best fucking place in the world. All right, let's try that again. Yeah, fuck it, top.
Yeah, Nesbitt. So that was your request. St. John's, night 2, back in 2023. You know, every time we come up there, you know, we let Nesbitt pick the set list, or at least give us some songs, and then we kind of, you know, he'll pick it, and then we'll be like, dude, are you fucking serious? So we'll have to tweak it and move some things around. But yeah, playing this there was probably the first time we played that, I don't know, in 5 years or something like that, you know. So off the top, you know, you can hear me kind of flubbing a chord in the intro already, and then Jarvis, forgets the second line of the first verse. So yeah, fun times, but we pick it back up, and I think we finish it off and do it quite well for not playing it for so long. So those are the fun moments, you know. You can't really plan that kind of shit, and they're memorable, and I'll always love. It's a great thing about being able to record all these shows live, you know, when we play, and having a tape recorded, not a tape, but, you know, digital version, and getting, you know, listening to these and getting these memories of flashbacks. Like, as soon as I listen to this, I can fucking, all flashes back to where we were in that weird kind of like dance hall place that we played. For those of you that were there, you'll know what I'm talking about. But yeah.
I like this one, and I'm glad that we get to play it a bit more for these shows, and we'll see if it sticks around after that.
Killer is going to get some attention on this tour. Obviously, it has to. My overall thought of the song, you know, all these years later, you know, it's not terrible, right? It is a good album track. We played it a lot faster live, and I think that's kind of what's going to give it a little bit more energy. But the faster we play it, I'm telling you, with the downstrokes, the more challenging it is. But again, it's just another song that I'm excited to dust off and just have an excuse to go out there and play.
So yeah, there you go. Killer. Killer song, man. Good parts, fun stuff, good horror-themed lyrics, and second to last song on the record. So we'll be playing this, you know, at least one more time this year at Frost and Fire. Then after that, you know, who knows? So if you want to hear it, you better get there.
So finally, some love for Killer. Underrated. I know I've said that before about songs, but this one really is. I managed to find some live versions of this. They're going to be available in the subscriber section on nightdemon.net, along with the full demo recordings for this song and all the previous songs we've covered. CursedDam.com for all things Curse of the Dam 10th anniversary, including the Ultimate Edition box set reissue and the Eugene action figure complete with axe. NightDemon.net for everything you need to know about Night Demon. Until next week, this is Nesbitt signing off.
Thanks for listening to the Night Demon Heavy Metal Podcast. Head over to nightdemon.net, click on the subscriber tab, and sign up to access exclusive weekly bonus content. If you would like to donate to support the Night Demon Heavy Metal Podcast, you can do so through PayPal at paypal.me/nightdemonmetal. Additionally, if you have not already done so, please subscribe, like, rate, and review the show on iTunes or wherever you listen to podcasts.
Killer!
All hail, Night Demon Heavy Metal Podcast listeners. This is Dusty Squires chiming in to tell you about my brand new signature sticks from the London Drumstick Company. I've dreamt of having my very own drumsticks ever since I was a wee lad, and LDC made that a possibility for me. Founded in 2016 in London, England, the birthplace of heavy metal, the London Drumstick Company has trailblazed a path through the music industry and taken the drummer world by storm. When I met them for the first time, they knew their product was going to withstand the beatings of a Night Demon show. They took the time to work with me on getting everything just right. The balance and weight of my sticks are the same no matter what, and the durability is bar none the best I've ever had. I know my sticks will last through the set night after night. I'm truly honored to work with a company that caters to their players the way LDC does. Their innovation and attention to detail is what separates them from the rest of the stick makers out there. Their custom stick sleeves are unbelievable and really make the entire presentation complete. Wait until you see the design they came up with for me. It blew my mind and was a surprise to say the least. They have all kinds of amazing swag, including hoodies, t-shirts, drummer shorts, drum keys, stick bags, towels, face masks, practice pads, and much, much more. Even if you're not a drummer, you can be a part of Demon history and order my brand new signature sticks direct from their website. How cool is that? And to top it off, the London Drumstick Company are giving an exclusive offer to the Night Demon Heavy Metal Podcast listeners. Go to londondrumsticks.co.uk and receive a 15% store-wide discount using promo code DEMONSTICKS. All capital letters, no spaces, Demon Sticks. DEMONSTICKS. I can't thank everyone there enough for the opportunity to be a part of their family and for them trusting me with their amazing products. See you metal maniacs on the road very soon. And yes, the wood chips will be flying.
Greetings, boils and ghouls. This is your comrade, the Crypt Keeper here, reporting dead from the sanctuary of the strange. Tonight's macabre myth is a fright-filled feature, one overflowing with monsters, madness, and magic.
Visit our website at monstersmadnessandmagic.com to stay up to date on all the dark dealings within the sanctuary of the strange. Enjoy the show.
Hey Metalheads, I'm Mark and I host the Metal Forge. Let me tell you about the show. The Metal Forge features the best underground metal from all over the world. We spend every week with a different artist with interviews, in-depth conversations, and most of all, the music. We also feature audience interactivity where you can submit your questions to the upcoming guests. New episodes are out every Friday at noon Eastern Time at metalforgeradio.com or wherever you listen to your podcasts.
Want to know what's going on in the world of music? Then tune in to the Nothing Shocking Podcast, a non-genre based, all-ages friendly rock and roll program. Join us weekly for interviews with all your favorite rock stars from the mainstream to the underground. You can find us at nothingshocking.libsyn.com or anywhere you download podcasts.
Okay, metalheads, you've been complaining that there has not been a channel that plays all of the heavy metal videos from past, present, and future for years and years at this point. Well, that time is over. Heavy Metal Television is back. HeavyMetalTelevision.net is the website. Go there. You can see videos playing 24/7, 365, all the time. All the best from the old school, the new school, and everything in between. Check it out, HeavyMetalTelevision.net. It is where the metal is.